You know, I seem to ask this question a lot whenever it's the holiday season, and that's this. Why is it that I always watch the not really holiday specials or holiday movies? You know, those holiday movies that, well, for some reason you watch around the holiday season and then you realize, hey, they aren't really holiday specials. You know, films like Die Hard or Gremlins where, yeah, it takes place on Christmas or it has little tiny shreds of Christmas DNA in them, but ultimately they're completely the opposite of what Christmas is supposed to be. For some reason, I seem to find myself watching a lot more of those movies or holiday specials than the actual holiday specials that you're supposed to be watching around Christmas. You know, stuff like Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the usual stuff. But I think that's because we know we've been growing up with those films for, well, our whole lives. So we know how to feel about them. We know what, they're about and stuff like that. So why the hell should we give those attention when we already did all throughout our lives? So we kind of just grow up and then we go ahead and watch and review other holiday movies that aren't really holiday movies. And that's kind of like my favorite thing to do during Christmas. I mean, just sit down, watch a bunch of movies that aren't really, well, Christmas movies, and then we go ahead and then I go ahead and, well, now review them, seeing as how I have a YouTube channel. So, you know what? I'm going to do that. Last year I reviewed only two not really holiday specials or movies, but this year I'm throwing it out the window. We're doing a bunch of them. Trust me, this is going to run through all the way through November, December. Why am I starting in November? Well, the marketing kicks in for Christmas in, well, fucking late October. So why the hell shouldn't I start in, well, second week of November? So these are my not really Christmas reviews. So, like I said, they will run from November all the way to the end of December. And basically, there you go. It's pretty simple like that. So let's get started with the first review on my list, which is Titanic. Why is this a Christmas film? You're asking? Well, it actually isn't. In fact, it was the only reason why I'm counting this on my list is because it was released in, well, the winter of 1997. Which is kind of funny because it was actually supposed to be released in the summertime. So this is just barely crossing Christmas territory. But Titanic, one of the most highest grossing movies of all time, one of the most critically acclaimed films ever. What do I think about it? I hate it. Yeah, I don't like this movie. Give me a minute. Oh, yep, did the math. I have negative 1,000 subscribers now. But, all kidding aside, I don't like this movie. I really don't like this movie. Hell, I didn't even like it when I couldn't even comprehend what made a good or bad movie. I never liked this movie. I really didn't, and I'm a huge minority on this because almost every person ever absolutely adores and loves this movie. I just don't see why, because honestly, this is not really Titanic. That's like the biggest problem with the movie, the title. And you know what? Confused Matthew, a reviewer online, go check him out. He's really awesome. He does great reviews. He said this exact thing. Everything that he says in both his reviews is really his 3-part in-depth review and his first just 6-minute review. That, like, everything that guy has to say about Titanic is everything that I'm going to have to say about Titanic. I mean, that just summed it up, basically. So if you want to see a better review, go see his review of the movie. But if you want to stick around and watch this, then I'll be glad to. That's awesome. But that's the biggest problem with this movie is the title itself, Titanic. Because it's not a Titanic movie once you get down to it. It really doesn't do anything with the story of the Titanic. Yeah, sure, the ship, completely, is destroyed and everything. I forgot the word, sinks? Yeah, I'm an idiot. But that's not the story really of the Titanic. My biggest problem with this movie is that instead of giving you a good story of the Titanic with people who are actually on the ship, there are a few people that were actually on the ship that do appear in the movie, but they're really just in the background. They don't do anything important. Like the captain, for example, like I don't remember him really doing much important. What else? What was I just at? Yeah, like none of like the really important people that were on Titanic are really ever mentioned in this movie. And that pisses me off because make way for two completely fictional and made-up characters to railroad in the most unbelievably completely overused and unoriginal story that's ever been put to film, in my opinion. This is that stupid Romeo and Juliet love story where it's a two people from different social classes or species fall in love, but because they're from two different social classes or species, they're torn apart and their love is in tragedy or something stupid like that. That story is so completely overused and dumb and stupid. And then to put that in the Titanic movie is stupid. It's not what the Titanic was. The Titanic was far from a love story. That was a tragic story. So to put a love story in that is completely, like, disrespectful to the people that were actually on the Titanic. People risked their lives to save people on the Titanic. And don't make a movie about that. Just railroad in a stupid love story for two fictional characters. Like, you can probably get away with it if it were, like, these were actually people on the Titanic. Maybe. Just maybe. But two just completely fictional made-up characters, like, okay, we're gonna, like, how did that pitch go? Like, okay, we're gonna make a movie about the Titanic, but instead of making it about the Titanic, we'll shove in some fiction, majority of the main cast is fictional characters, and let's not tell the story of, like, how people risked their lives and died saving others on the Titanic. Screw that, who wants to see that? Let's just put in the same dopey, crappy love story everyone has seen, everyone and their grandmother has seen. That's, like, did anyone notice how disrespectful that was? Like, people who survived the Titanic probably survived the Titanic because people helped them get off, and those people that were left behind died because they saved others' lives. There were heroes on the Titanic. And then to just make a story and a movie surrounding two fictional characters and none of those people is disrespectful as hell. In fact, I actually did some research for this review, and I actually found a guy who was on the Titanic named John Harper, who was a reverend. He was on the Titanic with his, I believe, 6-year-old daughter, and once it started sinking, he put his daughter on a lifeboat and stayed on Titanic, and actually ended up dying on the Titanic. But he let his daughter go to grow up without a mother because he was a widower, and to grow up without mother or father, and stayed behind and made people, like, believe in the name of Christ before they were looking death in the face. Like, oh yeah, don't let that man, get his time in the spotlight. Oh no, make way for two completely fictional, made-up characters. Again, it's disrespectful as hell. That's the reason why I hate this movie. Yeah, don't give any of these people any time. I've said it before. I'm starting to sound like that stupid, crappy love story. It's just, it's the same bull crap. Like, if they shoved all that stuff away and gave us something new and creative, maybe. But still, it would have been disrespectful to toss all of the heroes of the Titanic away in favor for a stupid made-up plot with stupid made-up characters. That's the biggest problem. It's not a Titanic movie. They could have, again, Confused Matthew said this in his review, they could have placed it in any year, century, or decade, and it would have been just the same, even if you kept the name Titanic, because it's not a Titanic movie. If you name the ship Titanic and anything else, just because you name the ship Titanic and the title's Titanic, does not mean it's going to be a Titanic movie unless you make it about the Titanic. And even if we do get a movie about the Titanic that's completely fictional, it's just a documentary. Again, the same thing Confused Matt said in his review. We have plenty of those, okay? We don't need another one. And I understand, the argument, it's historical fiction, all movies that are about history aren't exactly 100% historically accurate. which is true. It'd be a surprise if I did find any film that was 100% historically accurate, but this is just pushing it. I mean, it's historical fiction. I get that, but this is not the movie to do that, okay? This was, the Titanic was just a huge tragedy. It's like, it was a tragedy. You don't go and make a movie about a tragedy and have made-up characters in them and just shove away all the important characters or people that were actually in this situation and tragedy. You don't do that. You just don't do that. It's disrespectful as hell. And that's why I hate this movie. You know, it's not about the Titanic. It's not. And it's so... I'm just sounding like a broken record. It's just so disrespectful. And to shove it away for this dumb, overused plot is so entirely... Say it, audience. You know what I'm going to say. It starts with a D. It ends with no. You know. I just hate this movie. I hate it for that exact reason. Was there anything I liked in the movie? I liked that they made the ship really look like the ship. Like, they actually built the thing. It wasn't all CGI. Like, they actually did construct an almost exact replica. Kind of makes you wonder why didn't they just, like, build that and crash into an iceberg and then film that. But, whatever. And that stupid plot, that is the same reason I hate Avatar. And I'm going to review that next, people, and you might as well not even watch it because it's just going to be the same stuff I'm going to say here, except it's not historical fiction, it's just its own movie. So stay tuned for that. A rating for this movie? I really don't even know. A 5. I'll give it a 5. There's some stuff in there that's good, but overall, it's just such a disrespectful movie. It's not all that great. If you like it, that's fine. You can enjoy it. It's your own opinion. If you like the movie, fine. By all means, like it. I'm not saying that you should hate it. I just wanted to get this thing off, get, you know, my thoughts off my chest, because I hate this movie. I hated it when I first saw it when I was younger. I hate it today. I hate it. And I still get in arguments with my mom about it, where she's like, you know, oh, it's historical fiction. It's not supposed to be about Titanic. I'm just like, well, still, it's disrespectful. But still. If you have some arguments about this movie, I would like, you know, to hear those in the comment section below. So, you know, there's that. If you want to, you know, give your own thoughts about it, go ahead and make your own videos about it. Post a video response or whatever. That's basically about it. There it is. Stay tuned for more of my Christmas reviews coming up. Not really Christmas reviews, technically. But very slimly, technically. So, go ahead and see that. Alright, see you guys soon. Bye.